Hi guys, it's Dakota. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to my channel, The Hallowed Cauldron. If you're new here, welcome to you. Today's video is going to be about incense. We're going to talk about this second harvest, Mabon, however you like to pronounce it, Autumn Equinox. We're going to talk about the incense. Now, some of you may be wondering, what am I doing? If you follow me and you know, what am I doing in this empty house? It's a really long story. This is one of our rental properties, and it is right on our dirt road that comes back to our property. We bought it because we didn't want them, you never know who your neighbors are going to be, I guess. And that sounds terrible, but we bought it because we do a lot of work, and plus we own property out here in the front of our property as well. And so we just thought it would be best if we, if we had control, I guess, of it, and who stays here and who doesn't. And it needed some work, and we just weren't in a position to, put a lot of money into it right now. And so one day we were over here. We did pull the carpets out and stuff like that because it was, kind of smelly. And while we were doing that, I started looking around and I was going, it's too bad this house is just going to sit vacant, because guess what? Right across our little dirt road here, we also probably 4 years ago, I think 5 years ago, we bought, I think it was 4 years ago, we bought another house. It might be 5 years. I don't know. Time goes by so fast. Um, Oh yeah, it was 4 years ago, I think, and it doesn't matter. And but our neighbors moved. They wanted to, move, and we bought that property because we didn't want it. But the thing was we were afraid, like, well, whoever buys that, what if it's, it could be noisy neighbors or something like that, and we live right down the dirt road, and we just didn't want that. My husband's in the rental business, so we thought, well, we'll buy it, and it's an investment, and all the things that go along with that. Kind of started to work on it in the beginning. It needed some work done, and my husband sort of took over the garage that's over there. It's a two-car garage. He took over the garage for all of his equipment, blah 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 blah. Kind of. I'm not going to say anyway, the house is used. I will say that. We're not renting it out. We use it. But this house was just kind of sitting here. It sat here for probably a good, I don't know, maybe 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. Like I said, we had taken the carpets out or whatever. And then one day I came in, and I think he was working on, I don't know what he was doing, working on the fan, I think. And I just sort of went, This has a heat pump. It has heating and air. I've got fans. I've got a bathroom if I need it. I've got this huge kitchen counter. I've got a sink. I've got a stove. I have hot and cold running water. I used to have a refrigerator, which was on the other side of that window, which we pulled out for now. But my witch cottage that you usually see me doing videos on doesn't have any of that. No heat, no air. It's humid in there. I do have a dehumidifier. You know all the things because I talk about it almost every video. Um, in the deep of summer, the little air conditioner that's in there just isn't enough to get it cool. I have to turn it on like 2 or 3 hours before I can even like sit in there comfortably. But I love the cottage, so I don't want to just, like let it go and do nothing with it. And then, I have my devotion room at the house, which is upstairs, which really looks like a hoard. I'm telling you, it is so bad. I know I've told you this for this whole year that I'm purging, I'm cleaning out, I'm getting rid of. Yeah, it just takes a really long time, because if you're a squirrel like me, every time you find something, you're like, oh, that's pretty, I don't know. I'm not ready to let that go yet. And then the next thing you know, you've gotten rid of one thing, so it's a process. It's a process. But anyway, so for now, I use this for my workshop, to do all of my candle making for my store, all the candles that I make for my store. my oils that I make for my store. Everything that I make, you know, brick dust, just a number of things that I personally make for the store. Um, I just have everything over here, and then that way I don't have to clean it up when I'm done. Because at the house, if I do my candles, there's herbs and oils and stones and wicks and wax, and I mean, there's just stuff everywhere. And at the end of the day, I have to clean all that stuff up and move it because dinner, husband, you know. And then the next day, if I decide I'm not done and I want to do some more, I've got to haul all that stuff out again. So it just, it's a pain. And so I thought, you know, this house is not being used, but we're paying property tax on it. And so, you know, until we're ready to do something with this, I'm using the kitchen. So that's what I'm doing. Well, why am I here? I can make incense at the Witch Cottage. I can. And that is where I decided I was going to work today. I wanted to do the video over there at the Witch Cottage because I'm feeling the cottage. You know, I haven't been in there in a while. I mean, I pop in and out throughout the, you know, the weeks and stuff, but it's usually to grab something or to put something in there. And I haven't done any videos in there. And I thought today I'm feeling it. I miss it. I just really want to go in there and do this video. And oh, it was so hot and so humid. And I was like, that's all right, I can do it. So I put everything out, and then I went, oh, well, if I'm going to make this incense, I need the herbs and I need the resins and I need my mortar pestles and I need all of my stuff. And all of my stuff was over here at the house. So I had to pack all that stuff up and haul it over here to the house. I say haul it. I have a golf cart, and I just put it in the golf cart and haul it over here. I mean, we're just down the dirt road from my other house. Okay, so I want to make this incense now. You know, this Sabbath that's coming up is usually in modern paganism usually referred to as Mabon, different ways of pronouncing it. I think it depends on where you're from, maybe how you were taught it, uh, just, you know, a number of things. But it's actually, it is the second harvest. Our last Sabbath was Lunasa, which was our first harvest. And then, and so now we have our second harvest, which actually is the autumn or the fall equinox. So, I wanted to make, this is not a big Sabbath for me. I am a summer person, as you know. I don't like the humidity, so nobody go crazy, but I do not like the humidity, but I am a hot weather person. Southern California, yay. And I do not do well in cold temperatures. But I will say this, I do like the fall as we start to come on it, and for several reasons. As long as it's not like freezing cold. I don't like to wear a jacket. I just don't. I don't like to bundle up. So as long as I can go out in maybe a long sleeve t-shirt or something like that, I'm cool with that. But what I like about this time of year, about the fall, and and I say this time of year, not this time of year here in Eastern North Carolina, because it's bloody hot out there right now. It's back up into the 90s, and you know, it's pretty hot. Humidity is not too bad, but it is humid out there, which makes it even hotter. So, but what I like about the fall, let's go there. What I like about the fall is that I like that deep kind of musky, rich, aromatic earth smell of when the trees start to drop their leaves and they start to decompose, and it creates this earthy, delicious earth smell to me. I love the smell of earth, like in the woods. I love that smell. Or the woods when it rains. I love that smell. That is delicious to me. So I decided, okay, I want to make some incense for this Sabbath. And actually, are doing ritual. Tomorrow night, actually, Wednesday night, have ritual. I am not leading it, so I'm pretty excited about it. But I felt the need to make this incense. So I was looking through my old books and looked on, Instagram DIY and Pinterest, and, looked at some different, I don't know, you know, sites. Uh, my books that I have for this time of year, I mean, I've gone through those books since the beginning of time. And so I don't know, I just was like, yeah, I don't want sweet and spicy. I will tell you this time of year, the autumn equinox, this is considered, I'm not saying this is a law or anything like that, because some do not believe this or practice this, which each to their own. But traditionally, um, the pagans considered it's the pagan Thanksgiving, if you will. So anything and everything that you can think of on that line, for whether it's color, the color of fall, um, Thanksgiving dinners, what we have at Thanksgiving dinners, and just we can go down to your local craft store like a Michael's or whatever, wherever you shop, and um, anything that's fall, that is autumn equinox. That's the fall equinox. So it's golds and reds and maroons, and it's everything that you see right now. What's happening is the trees are, the leaves are changing. They are changing, and even though it's still really hot here, the leaves are still starting to change, turning yellow and gold and red, and they're falling off the tree. So we do have leaves on the ground. And here is where the trees are saying, these leaves no longer serve my highest good. They are dying. And so I'm going to let them go to Mother Earth, die, recompose, make some good compost, put the nutrients back into earth, because if I hang on to you, I have to continue to try to feed you, and it's getting cold, and I am going to rest. This is my time of rest. So, so that got me to thinking and then remembering that I had read something a few years ago, I think probably in a book or something, and I'll read a little bit of it to you, because as I was going over all the fall equinox, all the fall incense, the Mabon incense, um, it was apples and cloves and cinnamon and orange and, pumpkin. And by the way, I do not like, I don't like pumpkin. Uh, I don't like pumpkin. So I don't want anything that smells like pumpkin. I don't like cloves. I don't want anything that smells like cloves. I don't, this is not a time of year that I feel spicy, like I don't want spicy. So I want earthy. I want dark, earthy. This is a time of going underground, and all I have to do is look outside and see the leaves and know that. I know this. So yeah, pumpkins are ready. We're picking the pumpkins, and make your pumpkin lattes and all of that. Make your pumpkin pies and the squash and everything. Second harvest, we're harvesting and we're getting them prepared for the winter. That's how it used to work. All right. So that got me to thinking, I want an incense that is dark, that is earthy, that has that grounding earth feel to it. So I remembered this that I read a few years ago. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. I just scratched it out today when I was remembering, and the thing that I read, it said, the person said that they imagined, like, the goddess or the maiden from the light half of the year. So the light half of the year goddess, and then you have the dark half of the year goddess, and which would maybe be the crone stage. That she just visioned this the two goddesses coming together in like this forest setting, and they're going to have tea for and have a chat about the year. And so the maiden goddess, she comes and she brings fruits and cheese and breads, and maybe she brings the tea. And then the dark goddess, or the crone goddess, she brings a bottle of deep red wine, or something like that. And and they just have this chat about what's going on, what happened over the course of the year and stuff. And then and so then they have this toast to the autumn equinox, to that balance, that equal balance. There was no feuding between the two. And so the maiden goddess gets tired, and so she falls asleep. And the crone goddess goes, yes, it's my time of year now. So the dark goddess becomes active, and becomes whatever the dark goddess does and is for you, if you follow a dark goddess. So, and you don't have to follow a goddess, but the darker, not even the darker aspects, but just that wanting to be in the dark woods, wanting that earthy smell. That's kind of what I mean when I talk about that stage, that season. We are in the dark half of the year right now, so it would make sense to have those heavier, darker scents, not cinnamons and active. I think of those scents as active, and that is not what I was looking for. So I want my incense to have like this dark, rich kind of fragrance. So I'm going to put you on pause and move the computer, and then we're going to make the incense. Okay, so I hope you can see this. I'm sort of off to the side a little bit. I'm not used to doing videos over here. And of course, remember I said how I have all of my stuff is either at the cottage, or it's at the house, or it's over here, and I need it over there. Well, the only thing I had over here is my small mortar and pestle, but I think it'll still be okay. I'm just going to make a smaller amount, that's all, and I can always make more later on. All right, so this is really, really simple. I decided that I was going to start with patchouli. This is patchouli root. This is patchouli root, and I am just actually going to pull some strands like this. Now this is loose incense, so what's going to happen is this has to be burned on a charcoal brick, the loose incense, in order for it to continue to burn. So when you have strands like this, you can't grind those with with a pestle. It doesn't really grind too well. It's still stringy. So I just kind of pick them apart as best I can, and because what are you gonna do? Look at that big old string. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just breaking it up into little pieces. I have never tried, I have an electric, it's a coffee grinder, and I use that because I do use a lot of roots and woods for different things, and you cannot grind those things with a mortar pestle. It's like almost impossible, and so I do run them through the coffee grinder. But I've never tried the patchouli, so I don't know if I could or not. It's awfully stringy. I don't know if you could. But the thing is I'm making them in small enough pieces that they will burn once they get put on the charcoal brick. So since I'm just making a small amount anyway, I'm just going to just put that small amount in there. I think you can see that. All right, so I'm starting out with patchouli, and patchouli for me has that deep aromatic scent that I want. When I smell a good patchouli, and it doesn't get any better than patchouli root. um, no perfumes, no oils, no anything. It's just the root of patchouli. So it has that real earthy tone to it. And then I'm going to add some cedar. This is just a cedar smudge stick, but I don't, as a rule, burn cedar for for any kind of smudging, and I just like to crinkle. I like to break up the cedar pieces into incense or sometimes even into oil. And I'm not going to put too much in there either because I didn't put a lot of patchouli in there. So, and cedar, you can see the cedar in there. Cedar is really good for purification, so it's good for cleansing. And so I like that idea that, even though, I'm sure the area will be cleansed, it's just a good idea. I just like to have that cleansing going on when I'm doing things. Now, I was going to use rosemary, but rosemary again is about purification. But I changed it to cedar. I don't know why, because I just felt it. I felt it better. Um, my rosemary at the house is giant, like the size of the house. It's huge. And I've been kind of cutting back a little bit. But, and maybe that's why I've got so much rosemary. I just decided that I wanted to use the cedar. And because I have so much rosemary, I guess I should have used that. But I decided that I wasn't going to use rosemary. So instead, I've never used this, and I'm going to use that. This is white birch bark. And it is really good for guidance and resilience. And so I kind of like that idea for my incense, and the fact that it's, bark. I like that because I work with a lot of bark. And it's called, I think the Celts refer to it as the White Lady of the Woods. And I just loved that because, the woods, and that's what I'm trying to get that smell. There's a lot of information about the white birch that I found. It also is good for purification, but something that I saw in there that I really loved in the properties when I was looking it up, and that came from one of my folk medicine books, I think it was. Anyway, it says, birch into the fire goes in sign of what the lady knows. And I loved that. I just loved that. So, yeah, so I'm putting this in there. And it also said that birch has the fresh innocence of the maiden. And I just read that thing I showed you or told you. And it has the silent courage of the crone. And so I just, I don't know. It was just something that I wanted to use since I'm not using the rosemary. And so I'm going to try it. And what's interesting is some of the pieces are real soft. If you've ever seen birch trees, the bark is real soft, and some people use it to write their intentions on. Be careful though peeling that off the tree because I've heard that it can kill the tree if you pull the bark off. So I'm hoping that these were ethically resourced. It is, I'm going to put a little bit more in there. It is, I get it from one of my wholesale companies that is organic, so I can only hope and pray that that is what it is. Okay, the next thing I'm going to use is myrrh. And this is a resin. This is myrrh resin. And I'm just going to use a couple of pieces. And You know, myrrh is what they would use to try to find a smaller piece. What they would use around corpses and stuff. It's true, they did. I guess to get rid of the smell, but it smells very earthy to me. It smells really, I guess there's a reason, right? Okay, so then the last thing I'm going to use, um, I actually was going to use amber, the stone, and we just got some in at the store, and I have a couple pieces at the house, and I went to grab one of the ambers because I wanted to crush it up and use the stone, or it's not stone, you know, amber is resin, and I wanted to use that, but I had such a problem letting go of it because, I mean, it's full of wisdom, you know, it's fossilized amber, and so I just, even though I felt like doing it, I decided that I'm going to wait. I think it's something that I'm going to do at Samhain. So as we get closer to Samhain, watch for the videos, and I might be using the amber for something that I'm doing for Samhain. But I just didn't feel right about doing it for the fall equinox. And then, so like I said, I used the patchouli root, but and I did not use the amber. But when I was looking through my resin, because I was looking for my myrrh, I found this. This is patchouli amber. It's patchouli amber resin. And so and it is so strong. You have to be really careful with these. These are actually considered like a perfume. You know, people will, like, you can rub this on your skin, I guess, but you can burn it too. I like to burn mine. And in fact, I just leave these in their little bags, and when I need a pinch of some good smelling stuff inside a room, inside of the house or whatever, I just open up the little pouch and let it do its thing. Very gummy. It's very sticky. Very sticky. Okay, so that is it. That's all I'm using. And I am going to crunch this up. Now, the birch, of course, is not going to crunch. That is probably something that I could have run through the coffee grinder, but you know, this is going to be loose incense anyway, and so I'm just it doesn't have to be in a real fine powder. It's going to go on my charcoal brick. And the thing with resin is, if you use too much resin, you'll put out your charcoal. Oh, now see? Oh, this smells exactly like what I'm talking about. Yeah, it is very earthy. I think I'm going to add a little bit of, I don't know what yet. Oh, that smells good. You guys, that smells really good. And you see, I don't measure. I just kind of go with what I feel. Um, mmm. I think I'm going to add just a little more patchouli root to it to to that amber. I don't know. It smells good just the way it is. I might test it. I might try just a pinch and see how that smells. And if it's still too sweet or spicy, which I don't think it's going to be, I might add some more patchouli to it to try to bring that earthy, you know, earthiness to it. But right now, I can smell, I can smell the cedar. I can smell the myrrh, and Whew. And I can also smell the amber. I probably can't smell the birch until maybe it starts burning. Mm. But that has a real kind of earthy smell to it too. So that's it. That's what I made. I'll probably make some more. I'm gonna try a little bit of it, see how it goes, and I'll make my adjustments then. But that's what I used. Wanted to share it with you. Um, One of the things that I just read like today, and look, I'm terrible. I'm terrible about writing things down. I'm thinking, oh, that's easy. I'm going to remember it. Um, but it was in one of the little pictures on Pinterest, I believe it was, and it said, for your intention, instead of using a bay leaf, get a leaf that's already fallen off of the tree. The tree has given it its energy, and let it go with its energy and blessing. Write your intention on that leaf, and then you can either crush that leaf up and put it in with your incense, or you can just burn it, or you can bury it, or you can put that in a little stream, creek, whatever. Since it is a Mother Earth, it's going to go right on back to her, as long as it's not like just something really toxic-y and stuff like that. That is it. So that is the Autumn Equinox Incense. Oh my gosh, it's just smelling better and better. I like it. I'm going to go try it. Um, Give it a try. See what you think. Leave me a comment if you tried it or if you hated it. And have a blessed fall equinox, autumn equinox. Mabon, and second harvest, and also known as harvest home. So enjoy it. Be sure to give gratitude, and thanks for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.